Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Amber here. So listen, I've been getting a lot of questions and inquiries around assumable loans and where to find them. I have a video that I did about where to find these assumable loans. I kind of went into some detail, but I want to actually show you exactly where to go to find those assumable loans. And then I'm going to walk you through each one of the websites. So that way you have all the information that you need to kind of do a little bit of research to see if assuming a loan is for you. It's not for everybody. It is a bit more of a complex process. So if you're thinking about doing assumable loan, I highly suggest working with somebody that's familiar with that process. If you're in the DFW area, I am an Assumable certified expert for Assumable.io. Also work with Rome. So if those are something that you're interested in, and you want to kind of work with somebody that knows what they're doing, because it can be complicated, please reach out. So I'm going to get right into it and show you the two main websites, which is what I just mentioned, which is Assumable.io, and with Rome. And I'm going to talk about the differences between the two as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to share my screen now. So let's first talk about with Rome. So with Rome is the newer kid on the block. I think they've been around for, I want to say 2 to 3 years. Assumable.io has been around longer, so it's been closer to 10 years for those guys. But essentially they function much the same way in that they aggregate all of the data coming from the MLS and a few other sources to source active properties that have assumable loans, meaning they're VA or FHA, or in some cases USDA loans that can be assumed. All of those types of loans by law can be assumed. And so I'm just going to walk you through. The nice thing is that interface is pretty for both sites, pretty user-friendly, so it's not a lot that you have to walk through, but I just want to kind of point out a few things that you might want to take a look at as you're doing your research. The first thing you're going to want to do is go in here and type in either the city, zip code, or school that you're wanting to be close to. So I'm just going to go ahead and do Prosper. So we're in what is it? My God, I can't remember the Prosper zip code. Jeez, I just put it. I have too many zip codes running around my head. Let's just go by the city. All right. So first you're going to pull up the city. So it's going to give you this map. So it's going to outline the city that I just pulled up. So you can see here in Prosper, not a ton. Incidentally, just as an aside, San Antonio has the most assumable loans right now. And that's because you've got a lot of military bases, so lots and lots of VA loans. So if you're in San Antonio, you're in luck. You're going to have plenty of options to choose from. You'll notice Prosper doesn't have a ton. However, just here to our west, this is Aubrey. Got a lot of options here to the west of Prosper. So, but for the sake of this example with Rome, I'm just going to go ahead and click into this property. You can see you'll be able to see all the photos. You can take a quick look at those. It's a great property here. So you can kind of just scroll through. Lovely home. All right, so you can take a look at all the photos of the property. You can see how much the home is currently listed for. So it's listed for $569,000. Now this down that you see here, this is the seller's equity gap. So this is how much the equity that the seller currently has. This is the equity that we need to be paid out in order to assume this loan, which you'll find here. So this current seller has a loan interest rate of 2.49%. Their principal and interest is $14.98. So again, this does not include taxes and insurance. So we can always, if someone's interested in this property and they're working with an Assumable.io certified expert, we can factor in. I can pull up what the approximate taxes would be, and I can give you the exact principal and interest based on this rate. But this will at least give you a bit of a ballpark. You're going to add another couple $100 on top of this rate in order to get what the monthly payment is going to be. And then as you scroll down, you can see the loan details. So there's 26 years and 8 months left on this loan. Again, we've got the interest rate at 2.49 here, principal and interest. And then this is the remaining loan balance. So this would be what you are taking over. Then you've got the house details. So, the information about the size of the house, price per square foot, when it was built, who the listing agent is. The other nice thing here is that they have this Rome boost. And so what this is based on, again, this is the seller's full equity. And so if this particular one doesn't qualify for Rome Boost, but Rome has a program whereby if maybe you have a certain percentage of the seller's equity that you can cover, but you need a little help on the other, where you need like a second to be able to make up the difference, to be able to buy the seller out of their equity, essentially. They do have a boost program where they partnered. So you can scroll down here. where you can actually go here to, where is it? Oh, this one doesn't have it. This one does not. Oh, this one is not eligible for boost. Okay. Pardon the interruption. I'm gonna get right back to the video, but I realized after I recorded this, I did not show you what the with Roam Boost is. And so let me show you that really quickly now. Okay, so with Roam Boost, what you're gonna do is you're on the main page here, you're gonna go ahead and scroll all the way down to where it says Roam and Spring EQ. Spring EQ is partnered with Roam to be able to help folks afford that down payment if you don't have all of the money for that. So all you do is just click on the Learn More. And so this is just, again, the goal here is to help you to afford that down payment. So they recognize that everybody doesn't have $300,000 just cash laying around. So they're going to help you make up the difference. And so the way that that works, so they walk you through kind of how that works. But what I want to point out, you can take some time to go through this, but what I want to point out is what you're going to want to understand clearly is what the blended rate is. And so what the blended rate is essentially is what the homeowner's current interest rate is to assume the current loans. Let's say it's 2.5%. But you need to get a second in order to pay out the seller's equity. And maybe that loan is going to be, it's going to be higher because it's a second loan, second lien position. And so maybe that loan is closer to 9.5%, something like that. So the nice thing that they've done is they've created a blended rate for you. So you can kind of get a sense of overall, as you take that 2.5 and that 9%, what is the total blended rate? What interest are you paying on both of those loans? And so this is an example, but let me actually show you on an actual property. So we're just going to come up here and check out property here in Prosper, for example. So we're just going to go back to this one. And so now you can see, so this is so again, this is the property list price. This is how much needs to be put down. But let's say you don't have that. So if you have this full amount, this full 219, then your interest rate, you can pay out the seller's equity, then you're just looking at 2.49% interest, which is great. Let's say you don't have all of that. Let's say you've got, I don't know, closer to, let's call it 100,000. Let's say you just sold a house, you've got about 100,000 to put down. So the Roam Boost that you would need to make up the difference is $100,000. That's what you're missing. So you can see now, now it's gone from 2.9 or whatever it was to now it's 4.7. This is what you're going to call your blended rate. And based on that blended rate, this is what the principal and interest is going to be. So you see, the more you put down, the more rate that comes down. So this is the max. So 2.49 was the max and 14.98 is the overall principal and interest. But if you don't have that much, so the less you have, that you see that payment goes up and the interest rate goes up. But I just wanted to point out to let you know they are calculating the blended rate for you. But you can see, even if you don't have all that to put down, and maybe you have around 43,000 to put down, it's still overall the blended rate is still less than what it would be if you were to take out a brand new loan at today's rate, conventional being closer to about 7.5 as of to the recording of this video. So that's all I wanted to point out. Now on to the rest of the video. So I'm going to show you we'll go to another property. I'm going to show you how that one works in just a second. But what I like about kind of the different functionality of this particular website is that, one, you can click this button here. This will take you to a with Roam advisor, and they will walk you through in great detail, like the process, what they do, and how they go through and take you through a loan assumption. You can also start an offer, so they'll ask you a couple questions. I'll just go ahead and click on that so you can kind of see. You need to tour the home. What's your maximum down payment? What do you intend to use the property for? Because it's very important when it comes to assuming the loan to understand that it must be a principal residence, right? You're not doing this as an income or investment property, so it would not be eligible for that. So they just want to make sure that you have the right use of the property. Essentially, so what you can do is, so if you were to start over here, I'll walk you through those steps, and then with Roam advisor will contact you and give you more detail about how to go ahead and look through submitting an offer on that home. Let me go back into here. The other thing you can do is, if you're contemplating, well, what is the difference between purchasing this home with assuming the loan versus just getting a brand new loan? And so what about this is they have this feature here, evaluate my offer. So if you click on that, it will go walk you through. So how much your offer, you can change this amount if you want, but based on how it's listed here, you have the sales price. This is if you were just going to offer list price, and then this is the cash, the seller's equity. So this is the minimum amount that you would be putting down. So you can do a bit of a side-by-side comparison. So if you were to assume the loan, so you would be coming in with minus the 219 from the 560, what was it, 569? So you're coming in, you're going to be bringing in 479 at 2.49%. That's going to be your new loan. So you've got 350 is your principal. The interest is the 129. So you'd be saving, by the time it's all said and done, because of the lower interest rate, you'd be saving about $332,000. That is significant. Versus if you were to buy the home with a brand new loan, basically originating a brand new loan, then again, principal doesn't change. Principal is going to be 350 if you're putting 219 down, but you're going to be paying significantly more in interest, right? So it's 461 in interest. And so you're going to save quite a bit of money. So in comparison, your total interest with assuming the loan is only $129,000. But if you get a brand new loan at the current rate at 7.52, now you're going to be paying $461,000 in interest. So significant difference. This is why if you have a bit of cash, assuming the loan is going to be in this current market is going to be the absolute cheapest way to purchase a home if you need to in this market. So I just want to point those out. The other thing with Rome is the difference is going to be, I'm stop sharing for a second. The other difference is that with Rome, they will charge 1% of the purchase price to do the assumption. Honestly, money well spent, because you saw how much money you save going with that 2.69 or 49 interest rate versus 7.8, right? So you're going to make up that money pretty quickly, even paying for the assumption. Now the next one I'm going to go into, I'm going to share screens again. Now let's talk about Assumable.io. So Assumable.io, share my screen yet? Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Hopefully I'm sharing I'm sharing the screen. All right, so Assumable.io, so they've been around a little bit longer. So with Rome, it's been around, I want to say for about 2-3 years, don't quote me on that. But Assumable.io has been around a bit longer. I think it's coming up on 10 years. So they've got a little bit more experience in the game of assuming loans. And so very much the same platform as with Rome, where you're going to start your search. And so I've already plugged in Prosper here. So for example, so much of the same information, right? So we've got what the assumable rate is. So with this, just click on it. So with this particular home, it's 2.98%. Your principal interest is $1,216. So remember, that does not include your taxes and insurance. And then the down payment on this one, so seller's equity is $163. That's what you would need to bring to the table plus closing costs in order to close on this home. Right? And so that gives you, same thing, you can kind of scroll through, see all the photos of the home. And it's much in the same way where if you're interested in this home, they will have you connect with a counselor that's going to walk you through step by step exactly what it is that they do. So if you go to Assume This Home, it's going to take you to a type form, and then you're going to enter your information so that someone can get in touch with you. Hopefully, am I still sharing screen? Hopefully you can see this. Let me go ahead and go back. So the nice thing about Assumable.io is they are nationwide, whereas with Rome, they cover most states. They're not in all 50 states. So if by chance you go to an area that you're interested in and you look up and you say, oh, there's no assumable loans, chances are great that's not the case. There probably are assumable loans in that area. It's just that with Rome has not got to that market yet. Whereas Assumable.io, because they've been around long, they have just been able to cover more ground in comparison to with Rome. The other difference here is that you can do a little bit of your own filtering. So you can filter by price, you can filter by how much down payment. So you say, okay, I have my maximum that I can afford to put down or cash that I have is $200,000. Then you put in what interest rate that you're looking for. So you can select that, how many bedrooms, bathrooms. and then the property type. So are you specifically looking for an FHA, or maybe you're a veteran and you're like, no, I specifically want to use a VA loan, whatever that might be. And then you can do your own search based on the area that you're interested in. So I love that they allow you to kind of drill down a little bit more. The other thing with Assumable, let's talk about the price. So with Assumable, it's a flat rate. So it's a fixed price. So it's not based on the purchase price of the home like it is with Rome. So again, with Rome, 1% of the purchase price paid for by the buyer. With Assumable, it's a flat rate of $1,850, no matter how much the property is. So you do save a bit of money there. And it's the same process. They do walk you through. So you've got a assumption expert that is assigned to your case to make sure that you're pushing that thing forward. I'm going to stop sharing for a quick second here, because this is an important piece. Assuming the loan's not for the weak at heart, it can be a little bit of a complex process. So the importance of working with an assumption processor or servicer is that they are familiar, they've done this before, are familiar with how these different lenders work. And so they're familiar with their process to make sure that they can push that loan forward. Because what you don't want to happen is you try to do it on your own, and then you get to a point where maybe it's not uncommon, paperwork got lost, or I never received XYZ thing that was mailed 2 weeks ago, and now you're delayed, and there are specific deadlines that need to be met in order to make sure that the sale can close. And so if you miss those deadlines, that could be disastrous. I'm just going to say it that way. So this is why this is not something that I would suggest you just try to figure out how to do on your own. I think it is absolutely worth the investment. Whether it's with Rome or Assumable.io. I think there's another servicer that does it, an individual that does them as well. The main thing is get with a company or someone that's familiar with how these processes work. And then on the assumption side, and then also on the realtor side, I would suggest, whether it's me or someone else, somebody that is familiar with doing loan assumptions, so that way they can make sure that they're writing the offer properly, because you want to make sure that you have all the details in your offer. So if something does go left, which we cross our fingers and hope it doesn't, we still have an ability to get your money out, because again, you're putting down significantly more money than you would put down if you were just originating a new loan, conventional loan at 10%, 5%, FHA 3.5%, that type of thing. So you do have a lot more money at stake. This is not something where you're like, oh, my friend's friend knows somebody, or my friend just got into real estate and she's going to help me. Please don't do that. Whether you use me or not, please just make sure that you're using somebody that knows what this process is and can make sure that they're keeping you safe, because like I said, it is a little bit more complicated than a regular sale. So anyway, just wanted to do kind of a quick debrief. Hopefully that was helpful. Again, both of these websites are really great resources. If you can't find it on with Rome, check out Assumable.io. And if you need help in this space and you're in the DFW area, I'm absolutely happy to help you. Like I said, I am certified with Assumable as well as with Rome. With Rome doesn't have a certification process. Assumable.io does. And so I am certified with Assumable.io, and I am affiliated with Rome as well. So if you need help in that space, please reach out. I'd be happy to help you walk you through this process. But honestly and truly, if you're in a situation where you need to purchase a house, and notice I said need, I do think we're in a market where if you don't really have to, I would sit tight for a minute, because I think there's going to be a lot of changes on the horizon around kind of maybe not so much an interest rate. I think we're probably stuck with where we are for a little bit, but I think price-wise, home prices and things like that, depending on the area, I think waiting could benefit you. So if you're in a position where you can wait, I highly suggest, based on where you're looking for in the area that you're looking for, it may be incumbent on you to go ahead and wait it out, because you might be able to get a better deal. But if you're in a situation, I know not everybody's in a situation where they can wait, where you've got family issues or job relocation or just life is life, and you need to move. This assuming the loan is going to be your absolute best option in this particular case. The second option, and I have a video around that too, but the second option is to go to, if you're in an area like DFW where there's a lot of new construction, your next best bet is to go with a new construction builder, because a lot of them have, we're starting to see more of a glut inventory on the market, and they're being a lot more generous with incentives and helping with work, if you're working with their internal lender, having a special rates where it's, as low as 5% fixed, that kind of thing. So that would be your next best option. So anyway, hopefully this information has been helpful too. Feel like I'm rambling something to go ahead and shut this video down, but if you need help, please reach out. I'm here to help you, and I will see you in the next video.